Hello friends, here is an elaborate schematic presentation showing how atoms, elements, compounds and mixtures are related. This diagram illustrates the connectivity. At the top in this diagram is a mixture. At the base are atoms. In between are elements and compounds. The mixture being used here is salt solution. Salt solution is formed when table salt combines with water through a physical process. Table salt, you all know, dissolves in water. The chemical name for table salt is sodium chloride, and the chemical formula is NaCl. The chemical formula for water is H2O. Salt solution can be divided through a physical process into its components, sodium chloride and water. Sodium chloride can be divided through a chemical process into sodium and chlorine. Water can be divided through a chemical process into hydrogen and oxygen. Sodium cannot be divided into any other substances through a chemical process. Chlorine cannot be divided into any other substances through a chemical process. Hydrogen cannot be divided into any other substances through a chemical process. Neither can you divide oxygen into any other substances through a chemical process. Sodium is made up of the same kind of atoms known as sodium atoms. Chlorine is made up of the same kind of atoms, chlorine atoms. Hydrogen is made up of the same kind of atoms, hydrogen atoms. And oxygen is made up of the same kind of atoms, oxygen atoms. So at the base here you have atoms. Because sodium is made up of the same kind of atoms, sodium is an element. Because chlorine is made up of the same kind of atoms, chlorine is an element. Because hydrogen is made up of the same kind of atoms, hydrogen is an element. And because oxygen is made up of the same kind of atoms, oxygen is an element. Sodium and chlorine combine through a chemical process to form sodium chloride. And because of that, sodium chloride is a compound. Hydrogen and oxygen combine through a chemical process to form water. And because of that, water is a compound. Sodium chloride and water combine through a physical process to form salt solution. And because of that, salt solution is a mixture. In this diagram, we can see that the substances making up the salt solution are compounds. The formation of mixture is not limited to compounds only. There are situations when you have a mixture made up of elements combined through a physical process. An example is when you have the elements iron and carbon combining through a physical process to form the mixture steel. In some situations, a mixture is made up of elements and compounds. An example of such a mixture is when you have iron filings and sand combined together. Iron is an element. Iron is an element, and sand is a compound. The chemical name for sand is silicon dioxide. And this is the chemical formula. Please subscribe, like, and share. For online tuition, kindly reach me using this number: +965 949 44377. Thank you and have a nice day.